So let's take a look at the grid for the pre-final for Junior Rotax. Pole position goes to the 282 of Thijs Stevens, but in Blankenberg will be alongside on the front row with Boris Maximov, Thijs van Wijk on row 2. Noah Janssen and Ryan Kiewitzbosch will be on row 3. Rocco Kerr and Temo Koopmans will be on row number 4. Evert Dorrestein and Jure Valkenaars will be completing the top 10. Evert Dorrestein, one of several of the drivers competing in this championship that have been selected by the Knaf Kart Academy to help progress their careers in motorsport. She was also one of the top 4 finalists for this year's FIA Girls on Track last year. Behind them we've got Lieke van Berkel and Jim Buck. Alan Vida and Max Sederski round out row 7. Luca van Leer and Rick Corporal row 8. Bran van der Weken, Oliver Janssen, Vince and Levi Dries round out the top 20 with Philip Wisniewski, Nuden Engelsman. Then we've got Tony van Leersum, Charlotte van Leersum and Jort van Ekelen rounding out the 25 strong Junior Rotax grid. So current air temperature is 10 degrees, it's cloudy overhead, 83% humidity, north wind of 16 kilometers an hour, which is about 10 miles an hour here at the circuit. So the Rotax flags are, as well as the chrono karting flags, are flapping in the breeze here in Berghem. This is going to be Thijs Stevens' last year as a junior driver. He's been a junior for quite a few years, has also competed in a multitude of competitions, including the Euro Trophy. The B&L Karting Series, also qualified for Team Netherlands as an E20 junior driver just a couple of years ago. But here we go. Out of the final corner, revs rise into the tram lines. Are we ready? Are we steady? We are underway as Stevens leads the field. It's going to be an absolute flood of junior Rotax drivers. They are still 2 wide, 3 wide actually coming out of the, and we've had an incident coming through into turn 2. One on top of the other. One is the 203 and the other one is the 249. Philip Wisniewski and Nuden Engelsman out. Well, not out of the race, but one on top of the other. It was going to be a pinch point there through into turn 2. And we've had another drama at 4 with Jim Back being involved. There was also a CRG escaping the scene of the crime. Didn't quite pick out the number, but it is going to be Thijs Stevens that leads the field. Looks like Boris Maximov has made his way up into 2nd position in the 230. The young man running with Berghem and his crew. Noah Janssen and Thijs van Wijk up to 3rd and 4th respectively. Bodin Blankenberg drops to 5th. Rocco Kerr up 1 place to 6th. Jure Valkenaars up 3 places to 7th. So Jim Back, Temo Koopmans, Rick Corporal. Oh, right, that is the 277 that's just parked it on the right-hand side. And that's Jort van Ekelen on the Lando Norris kart. So looks like we are having a little bit of attrition in the early stages. We're not even 90 seconds into this race, and it does go to show that sometimes some drivers can be a little bit more than exuberant and enthusiastic. And that final corner can be a bit of a possible issue when it comes to traction. And I have seen quite a few drivers from juniors upwards go completely sideways through that final corner whilst you're applying the throttle. And Noah Janssen is now having to defend, and he's going to lose 2 places into turn 5. So Van Wijk and Blankenberg through on the youngster from Germany on the 281. Stevens has got a lead of just under 0.3 of a second from Boris Maximov. 7 3/4 minutes to go plus 2 additional laps. So Van Ekelen out, Wisniewski out, then Engelsman out. So 22 drivers still competing. Max Sederski has made up 7 places from 14th on the grid and is now 7th. Still remember when nicknamed him Mad Max at one point. I know his mum and dad are here, Annabelle and Piotr. Ah, right, yellow flags at Marshall Post 1. So we have got a situation where either there's been an incident or someone has been off the circuit. So Stevens leads at the minute by half a second. Has there been a change for third? The second, the answer is yes. So Maximov got overtaken by Van Wyk through into the first complex, and Maximov is now going to lose out to Blankenberg, who's got through at turn 5. Right, Rocco Kerr and Charlotte van Leersum, I've just noticed, have tumbled down the timing screen, so that might be the explanation behind the yellow flag. But Van Wyk is closing in on Stevens, so that lead is not going to be half a second. What is it now? 0.27. A new fastest lap from Van Wyk 2 laps ago, 45.615. Maximov is not letting Blankenberg get away, but in the meantime, Max Swiderski has just got through on Noah Janssen. That's for 5th place. That was at turn number 4. And that means the Max Swiderski so far has made up 9 places. There's still 5 minutes and 40, plus 2 additional laps. Rocco Kerr becomes the latest casualty in the race, having started in 24th and, well, having started actually in 7th position. So Rocco Kerr not having a good race either. So Charlotte van Leersum rounds out the 21 drivers that might and is still circulating. Rocco Kerr unfortunately isn't. However, change for the race lead. Van Wyk gets through on Stevens at 4. Great anticipation there from Thies Van Wyk, getting through on Dave Stevens. Blankenberg is in this, Maximov is in this. Wait another couple of laps and I'm sure Swiderski will be there to join the party, along with Noah Janssen and Jur Valkenaars, who's 7th, up from 10th on the start. Eva Dorrestein up 1 place from 9th on the grid. She's ahead of Bran van der Weyken, who's up from 17th to 9th. Lieke van Berkel completes the top 10 as we now complete lap 7. New fastest lap by Blankenberg. Top 3 covered by 2 tenths. And there is a driver in front. I think that might be, well, it looks like Philip Wisniewski might have rejoined the circuit in the 2:03, but Stevens is going to fire it up the inside of Van Wyk to get through to retake the race lead at turn 5. So good anticipation there from the very experienced junior driver, Dave Stevens, who will more than likely move into the senior category next year. But Maximov is still there or thereabouts. He's 4th in this train. New fastest lap of the race, Jur Valkenaars, 45.442. Lieke van Berkel has been dumped out of the top 10 courtesy of Adam Vida. Oh, that was a bit of a late move there from Van Wyk. He got through, nipped it in the bud, threaded the eye of the needle, and Stevens went, right, okay, I'm going to have to fight this one, aren't I? But don't count out the 2 behind. Maximov sends it up the inside through on Blankenberg on the approach into turn 5. Neatly done by the 230, who in 2022, by just a single point ahead of Tom Strehler from Latvia, picked up the Minimax European, the Euro Trophy crown at Karting de Fagne in Marienburg. And that was the same year when Dave Stevens won the E20 Junior Euro Trophy title, battling along with the likes of Dave Stams. And they all headed to Portimao later on that year. But with this quartet, 3.5 tenths of a second apart, it's difficult to predict a winner. Maximov trying to go on the offensive with Dave Stevens, heading in the run into turn 5. Stevens says, no, you don't. You are not getting past. But again, this is allowing the 3 behind, Swiderski, Janssen and Valkenaars, to close on in. The top 7, after 9 laps, were covered by just under 2.1 seconds. And that gap between Blankenberg and Swiderski last time around was over 1.1 seconds. That's going to be at least, I think, halved, if not more. Stevens and Van Wyk, who are second and first respectively, have now got a gap of about half a second between themselves and Maximov, and that's Blankenberg up the inside. And Max Swiderski got that gap down to 7/10 of a second. Van Wyk still holds on to the race lead. Noah Janssen, new fastest lap of the race. 45.214 by the 281 with Dor Motorsport. One's the likes of Nikita Genza and Mats Johan Overhoff in DD2, who we saw in action at the first round of the season back at Karting Genk on the 25th of February. So a minute and a half to go. It's still nip and tuck. And this is at a faster pace than we saw with the Minimax at the sharp end of the field battling away. Looks like Filip Wisniewski has parked the kart again. So the 203 is out. 21 drivers set to complete this race. We're on lap 12 on the run down to turn 5. So Van Wyk, Stevens and Blankenberg. That's your top three. They were covered by 0.3 of a second. As Swiderski has got through. Now that's 10 positions gained by the 297. Originally from Poland. Did a lot of help with regards to the Ukraine, with regards to the company, and a lot of people were helping with regards to supplies, but also Max being Polish by descent as well as being Dutch. So I'm sure that my good friend from Karting Rapport, Bartosz, is probably watching. Change behind Noah Janssen. So I'm wondering if Valkenars has lost out to Bram van der Weken, but the top three are still line astern. Nothing to separate these three. You could cover with them quite easily with an A4 sheet of paper if they were stood still and miniaturized, so to speak. But we are coming down to the final few seconds of the timer counting to 0. Van Wyk, this is going to come down to the wire. I think we're going to be going on to our penultimate lap. 3, 2, 1, and they cross the line with exactly 0 on the clock. Van Wyk started 4th, is holding on to the race lead, but Stevens decides through at turn 4, right, now's my opportunity, and Van Wyk straight away with the cutback gets through to retake the race lead. Blankenberg's just got to position the kart to be in the right place at the right time. Don't force it, don't overcommit, and just wait to see if that opportunity presents itself. Meantime, battle for 4th now being led by Noah Janssen in the 281. And back markers, oh, that was very, very close indeed. That was Charlotte van Leeuwen trying to get out of the way and nearly got collected by the leaders. 2 laps to go. They timed it to 0. And in the meantime, Jur Valkenars is battling away with Noah Janssen. Van Wyk goes defensive into turn 4. Stevens is between a rock and a hard place right now as the 282. And is going to try and possibly... That's not going to be a switchback attempt there at turn 5. That's a bit difficult to try and do that. But it's now through the run into the left-hander here at 7, into 8. Now into 9. We're into turn 10. One more corner to go. Last lap board will be shown this time. Van Wyk leads. Stevens right up the rear bumper. Through into turn 1 for the final time. Lap 16 underway. And Van Wyk is having to defend quite sternly. Janssen having to battle with Valkenars. Blankenberg senses that the opportunity is nigh. Stevens decides to straight line it, and that's going to allow Blankenberg to try and get through on Van Wyk for second. Dave Stevens just went, right, I'm getting here. Up the inside, no hesitation. Killer instinct unleashed. That was a great move. Just calm, cool, went about the business at hand. And out of the final corner, it's going to be Dave Stevens who wins the race by next to nothing. 61 thousandths of a second out of Thijs van Wyk. Bodine Blankenberg rounds out the top 3, covered by 0.183 of a second. Blankenberg picks up also the fastest lap of the race, 45.109. Jur Valkenars up from 10th on the grid to finish 4th ahead of Noah Janssen. Boris Maximov takes 6 out of Max Sidursky, Adam Vida and Eva Dorestein, who finished exactly where she qualified, 9th at the end of it all, with Lieke van Berkel rounding out the top 10. Well done to both of them. Bran van der Weken, Luca van Leer, Oliver Janssen, Ryan Kvyatbosch and Vince Dries round out the top 15, and rounding out the finishing order. Timo Koopmans, Levi Dries, Rick Corporal, Jim Buck, Tony van Leersum and Charlotte van Leersum, obviously family there, round out the 21 that completed the race. Charlotte a lap down. Philip Wisniewski out on lap 4, Rocco Kerr lap 3, with Nuden Engelsman and Jot van Ekelen out on the opening lap.